Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, family, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms, and you've even figured out what that looks like. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. It's literally telling yourself a new story, revisiting those dreams and aspirations that you had in the past that others have, had told you back then that you couldn't have, you couldn't achieve, you couldn't live. But this is the time, family, when all those things can actually come to pass. But those are stories for other days. I'm definitely I think I need to share my testimony at this point. Just so grateful to the Most High for moving me to the most beautiful place on earth, literally, and for just turning my life around totally. And I'm so grateful for the years that I took to turn myself around, because I'm really living what we call my best life. And it's really possible, family. It's really, really possible. And, the season that a lot of us chosen ones, or whatever you want to call us, ancient ones, are in, is we're building our new foundation. And that is where all our focus should be. But in the seasons and times that are coming up ahead, we may be called to be ambassadors, to be leaders, to take instrumental positions in media, in government, in the economics, etc., etc. But for now, it's secure yourself, get a territory for yourself, secure that territory, and wait for the next instructions. So special shout out, of course, to our Patreon family. We appreciate, love you so much. Thank you so much for supporting us on that platform, family. President Kagame recently did a Caribbean tour. He went to Barbados and Jamaica. I'm not sure if he went anywhere else. But, the funny thing is, Babylon really didn't cover this. The mainstream media didn't really cover this. But there was a huge coverage in East Africa, in Rwanda especially, and across the Caribbean. And this has created even more energy, family, to the whole reunification. And there's someone who keeps writing to me, they keep putting it in the comments as well, that before 2030, the Caribbean and, Mama Africa, the motherland, will be united before the end of this decade. And I totally believe that. And regardless of what we think, this whole story has so many dimensions, family. I'll try and cover all of them. But regardless of what we think of Kagame, whether he's a puppet or not, because what I've noticed is that Babylon is now getting their puppets to kind of take over this process and control the reunification of our family in the Caribbean and our family on the motherland, which is happening. There's so much energy around that. And because of the matrix we live in, we need government to create the structures, to create the policies. And that's one of the significant things that Kagame was talking about. He was about, waiving visas, et cetera, to make movement so much easier. And that flight is coming. And then that flight, one day is going to be like 3 hours, stories for other days. So regardless of how they're trying to control it with their puppets, of course, he was there because I think, I don't know if it's Rwanda who wants to run for the Commonwealth or one of the Caribbean nations, the neo-colonial structure of the, British Empire that they're all a member of. So maybe he will, some felt he was on a charm offensive for that. But what we have to recognize, beloveds, we were talking so fast, is that we live in an energetic world. And so in this energetic world, family, the most important thing are all these, and these titles and everything. It's chess, family. And so when Kagame goes to Barbados, he's not going as Kagame, as one man. He's going with the seat of power of Rwanda, which means he's going with the spirits, the spiritual nation of Rwanda is on his shoulders, is with him. And that's what he's taking physically. So, and that's something like, once we start to see the world as energetic first, we create it with our minds and then it manifests physically. We're spiritual beings having this physical experience. When we start to really identify and recognize that, then you won't worry so much about these guys being puppets, these guys being used to do A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3. Because there is already an energetic shift. There is already a reconnection. The chords are coming together. And regardless of what agenda he was on, the fact that he went as the head, as the king of Rwanda right now, the president of Rwanda, with all those authorities, and these things, as above, so below, these authorities are also there in the spiritual realm, family. Then he's able, just by his presence alone, a lot is able to shift. Because these are hereditary seats, like, okay, you know, we the leader. And what the leader did, if we overstood that properly, how deep leadership was in our nations, in our global kingdom, in our global queendom, then we'd realize that ultimately these guys have no power. They're sitting on that seat. And that's a physical seat as well as a spiritual seat. And so if they, you know, try and control us physically, we can call on that seat spiritually. But those are stories for other days, family. So Kagame going to Jamaica and Barbados is huge. Just energetically, it created so much excitement in Rwanda, in East Africa. There was a lot of buzz as well, you know, in the Caribbean around his visit. And this was actually his inaugural visit to Barbados. And, you know, he addressed a joint press conference with Prime Minister Mia Mottley. And he said, you know, I just confirmed that there is a huge interest, not only in my country, but in the continent to connect not only with Barbados, but the whole of Caribbean. That is so true. That is so true. And he said, you know, just check social media and you will see a lot of comments about my visit here and to Jamaica. The comments are not just from my country speak to that. Already we are too late in a sense to do that, but it's never too late to connect and make friends and partnerships. So we definitely want to do that. I wonder what he meant by we're too late to do that. You know, family, I'm actually thinking of starting like a reaction to all these speeches and stuff and just breaking it down on the main channel. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to Dr. Mumbi Show. But family, what does he mean by we're too late? We're not too late. We're in the perfect season. Let me know what you think he meant by that. That kind of threw me off. I'm like, you know, and you know, Mia Mottley praised him, he praised her. It doesn't matter. Those are just the semantics. Those are just the actions. The fact is, when he crossed over with a spiritual nation that is now connecting and moving in the Caribbean. Because we are the vessels. When we're told we're the vessels, family, don't take that lightly. Don't take that as a small thing. And that's why I always tell people, especially our brothers and sisters who have started returning, because the Exodus is ongoing, family. The Exodus will not be televised. So when you get that spiritual call, get up and do what you need to do. But I always tell family that is even coming to visit that you're coming with all your spiritual ancestors who have been there for 400 or 500 years and the ones who crossed over. Like it's a deep bloodline. And so spiritually, you're not just coming alone. Energetically, you're coming with your nation of people, your family, your ancient family that we know we've been lied to about how long we've been here. 5,000 years, 10,000 years, a million years, 5 million years. Can't trust Babylon to tell us the truth. And so family, when we see, this is so significant because a lot of these presidents, there's very few. I think the only time African presidents, where there was this wave where they were visiting the Caribbean, was during independence time. Between then and now, there's not been much interaction. So this is a new thing. This is a start of a new thing. And don't worry so much about the presidents going there and their puppets and their this and they're serving the Babylon agenda, but add energy to it. Welcome the spirit of the motherland that is now the new spirit of the motherland that has crossed over. Because you know, Kagame also, they travel with a full plane. So, you know, some of us are hidden in plain sight. ancient ones hidden in plain sight, chosen ones hidden in plain sight. So you have no idea.
Wake up, Africa!
Welcome back, family, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. I really do pray that you are well, family. And, you know, you saw the little, I'm just cutting it as we go along. But it's very significant that Kagame was in the Caribbean. It means that this connection, the reconnection of our people is happening in earnest. And it's not about what they do, because these guys are only around for like 10 years, you know. If they manage to change the constitution like they all try to do, they may stay around a little longer. But it's more about the policies they create, you know, they create under the populist belief that it's what the people want, that ultimately we care about, and that, you know, even them, whether they get it or not, energetically, like traveling to the Caribbean, connecting us, bringing the Rwanda vibe there, which is like Southern Ethiopia, family, bringing that vibe there. It's a game changer. It's a game changer for our people, families, and we should just continuously be calling for the reunification of our people. And there's a friend of mine who told me how he constantly calls on the real world, the real earth, the true reality to emerge. We should chant that daily. And we should, when we see the signs, like, just support that energetically, family. Support that energetically, and just know the ancestors ain't sleeping. It's a new day in Africa, family, not only on the motherland, but across the world. And we are a new breed of Cometians. I don't even know if that's a word. Children of the sun, you know, Ethiopians, whatever you want to call us. But we, children of the soil, that's why we're the color of the soil. But this is a new day, and as we see our presidents do this, because they're the major bloc. They're the ones who have, you know, as I explained about the 7 pillars, that 7th pillar of government is the one that controls the playing field. So if they change the playing field, waiving visas, making it easier for our people to travel between the Caribbean and Africa, removing, you know, intermediary flights, like making direct flights. If they're able to do that and to play in the matrix, because Babylon has made it that way on purpose, where you have to go to Europe before you go anywhere else. They made it like that on purpose. But if the government changes that structure, the level of the playing field, then we can come in and do some high-level, magical, beautiful stuff. Whether it was their intention or not to truly unite us, or whether they just wanted to control a process of what they know the time has come, it doesn't matter, family. As long as he went, whether he went as a puppet, whether he's, there's so many things I can say about him, but as long as he went, it's a game changer. Until next time. Tuko pamoja.